Hey guys, I gotta make a correction to the last video I did. I made some assumptions based on some things that I read that weren't accurate. It was just total lack due to a lack of information that I had at the time. So I'm going to correct myself here. That's how science works. So the last video I did, I was explaining the whole process, and I was basing that on the assumption that the reactor type was the type that I am most familiar with, based on what they were saying. The type I'm used to is called a pressurized water reactor. The type in Japan, or types that are having problems right now, are what's called boiling water reactors.
Fascinating.
And show you. Okay, very simple design. Basically, the coolant, the water in the reactor, gets boiled into steam, and that's the steam that drives the turbine, and it's just condensed back into a liquid and pumped back in using a outside cooling water source. And I didn't think it was a boiling water reactor because of the main problem that it had. They said that the pumps stopped working. They couldn't get the coolant flowing because they lost all their electrical backups. Boiling water reactors normally have a steam-driven pump available, so that you can use the steam coming off the reactor to drive a coolant pump to keep the coolant circulating. And so I don't understand how they could have lost coolant flow if they have one of those pumps installed. Boiling water reactors are, in my opinion, not as safe as a pressurized water reactor, but they're cheaper and simpler. So I don't know how they couldn't get coolant flowing, but they did. They can't, and it's burning up pretty bad.
Fascinating.
So I'm keeping up tabs on it, and they're talking about, you know, hydrogen explosions and stuff. I saw a video where one of the containment structures, it shot up fairly high in the sky, and it didn't look like a hydrogen explosion to me, because a hydrogen explosion will usually, you know, be a nice white hot fireball. It wouldn't really have all of this upsurge that you see in these videos of this thing. That looks more like you know, a steam explosion, and that's certainly what can happen if the water in the reactor vessel gets hot enough. It'll just all flash boil to steam, and it'll punch a hole right through the top of the reactor vessel and blow that lid right off.
Fascinating. But quite impossible.
That's what happened at Chernobyl, but Chernobyl didn't have a containment structure on it. It just had a regular building roof, and so that's why it blew out so much. They're talking about one of the containment structures maybe have taken some damage and may not be containing everything. That's real bad. They're talking about maybe it's not a partial meltdown, maybe it's a full meltdown now, that's really bad. The big thing that you don't want to happen is have containment structure damaged. If it goes into full meltdown, the containment structure is there to make sure nothing gets out. It'll still be there, you know, stuck in the ground, trying to burn its way to the center of the planet, but it'll keep the stuff from getting in the atmosphere and stuff. That's what it's supposed to do. So to learn that one of these is damaged, it's not good news. I was actually surprised by the type of reactor that they were using. It was a Generation 1 MOX reactor. MOX means mixed oxide. It's a mixture of uranium and plutonium, and I know what you guys are thinking right now. No! But, you know, I'm just trying to lay down some facts. So you got, this is real bad written all over it. So they're saying there's no chance for radiation reaching the West Coast, which is where I am. But I don't always believe everything I'm told. So I'm going to do the scientific thing, and I am going to test stuff.
Well, fascinating is a word I use for the unexpected.
So I went to my disaster kit in my house, and I got this thing here, which I thought I'd never find a use for, but found handy. So let's get some of this stuff out. Dosimeter. That you wear this on your person, and it measures the amount of ionizing radiation you receive just on you wherever you go. Let's see, got a gamma beta detector. And no, I didn't steal this stuff from work. It's called eBay, people. All right. Got this one. All right. So I got a whole lot of stuff. I think that one needs batteries. So anyways, I got detectors, you know, and so I can take these outside and check to see if any radiation is being received on the West Coast. Probably one of the few people, civilian-wise, that can do that. But if it happens, I'll let you guys know. At least you'll be informed. So bad things happening with Japanese nuclear reactors. I mean, this isn't, you know, everybody poo-poos on nuclear power and all that stuff. I think it's a very viable, safe power source. You can't factor in things like 9/0 earthquakes into these things. I don't understand why they couldn't get coolant flow if they had a non-electrical backup that they could. It's supposed to be installed in those type of plants. I'm still trying to get through all that stuff, but I'll keep up and test to see if there's any radiation on the West Coast if they say that, you know, something happens. I hope they don't go into full meltdown. I hope the containment structures stay together, because otherwise it's going to be real bad for Japan. It's just that little quick bit. Thanks for watching.
Please, Spock, do me a favor. And don't say it's fascinating. No. But it is interesting.